guys, how's it going? Eastbayanglers here today. We're talking a little bit about fishing today. Like always, we're talking about fishing, fishing this, fishing that. But today we're talking about COVID. We're talking about how COVID has affected fishing in general and the overall. But we're talking today about fishing, whether you're bass fishing, whether you're trout fishing, you're going for steelhead, striper, you're going in the bay, it doesn't matter, freshwater. Let's talk a little bit about how COVID has affected fishing. In general, fishing has been, well, on the rise. For the last 3 years since COVID started, boat sales, license sales, tackle in tackle shops has been selling at a phenomenal rate, actually hitting record sales for boats last year in California and a bunch of others, record sales for just general tackle. There was a period of time where throughout most of America, you couldn't get the power bait, you couldn't get it in any color you'd want it. Actually got to a point where it just seemed like the shelves were bare of tackle throughout a lot of places in California at a certain period. So there was a shortage, and that's one thing that has happened from the COVID and the pandemic is, there's a shortage of tackle. As far as factories go and work goes and everybody, the workers, everything's really slow, if not completely shut down. So a lot of the tackle companies aren't producing what they were, and they're not able to. So they're not able to get it as fast, make it as fast, produce as much. So as far as, just the amount, the quantity that's in production, it's a lot less. As far as the production, it's a lot less. So everybody right now is having a hard time getting a lot of really good tackle, especially if you're one of those guys who's very technical, very specific, and you want a, certain kind of, color and a certain maker, a lot of times you're going to pay for it right now. So in general, COVID is kind of in a bad in some ways and good in other ways. We have had a lot more people on the water. There's good and bad. When you got all these people on the water, you got a lot of future, uncertain future. I wonder to myself, are they just going to fish during the COVID pandemic and pick up the rod? Well, there's nothing to do. Or is this actually going to be something we get them into? And if so, it's like exposing people to fishing is so important, and, getting them outdoors into the wildlife, and enjoying that. So, for that, it's really great. On another note, there's just people everywhere, and it seems like, and this is hard to say, I'm in California, so it's so crowded, it's not funny, but I can actually say that during COVID, things just got worse, and people are trying to get away, and, it's been very difficult. So for you guys out there that are wondering, is, the fishing better or worse, or how has it been affected? Well, there's been a lot more pressure. There's been a lot more pressure of, people in general, whether they're fishing or boating. So, there's just more people out, and, as far as nature goes. So, one of the big things that I've ran into is that California at this point, it really is, obviously it's a little bit too overpopulated, and they can't really run the state well. I guess it wouldn't matter how many people we had here, they'd be making mistakes. But you do feel like there would be expansions or development of more parks, more lakes, more ponds, because we're starting to see all kinds of things happening with people spending a lot of time isolated. We're seeing, particularly that getting out, exposing yourself to nature is a very healthy thing. So for everybody out there that just, thinks that COVID's great or COVID's the worst, I think, COVID is just one factor, you know, of many we're going to have to deal with throughout our lifetime when it comes to fishing, whether it be droughts, whether we get flash floods, whether we get algae blooms, whether that's toxic, whether it's blue-green or just, you know, I mean, we've got a variety of different things, and we've also got, you know, the chance of other species being introduced or just certain species winding up completely. So I'm really worried about California, but I'm hoping that this sudden surge of anglers getting out is going to kind of force the hand just a little bit of a lot of these politicians, governor, such. People need to really, you know, give the people more to do. I hear a lot about like, oh, let's make this better, let's make that better. Well, I gotta tell you, I mean, they offer just one thing, and that's get a job and do it all this way, do it our way, or that's it. So I don't know. Stay tuned, guys. We got more coming.